He was the definition of modern fame, global, untouchable, and worshipped by millions. Kris Wu, China's biggest pop star, was more than just an idol. He was a brand, a business empire, a national export. With hits on international charts, blockbuster films, and luxury endorsements from Louis Vuitton, Bulgari, and L'Oreal, he became the symbol of China's global entertainment power. His net worth soared past $100 million. His face lit up billboards from Shanghai to Times Square, and for a moment, it seemed like nothing could stop him. But fame built that fast doesn't fade. It explodes. In July 2021, within just 3 days, Kris Wu went from a multi-millionaire superstar to a ghost erased from the internet. Brands deleted his name. Streaming services pulled his music. Fans who once called him the king watched in shock as police announced his arrest. In 72 hours, his empire, years of fame, money, and influence, was gone. Tonight, we trace the rise and collapse of Kris Wu, the idol who built a fortune that disappeared faster than fame itself. This is the story of how one of Asia's most powerful celebrities became a national scandal, and how his downfall changed the rules of China's entire idol industry. Because what happened to him wasn't just punishment, it was a message. Before he became a global superstar, Kris Wu was just another kid chasing an impossible dream. Born Wu Yifan in Guangzhou, China, he moved to Vancouver, Canada at the age of 10, a shy, tall boy who loved basketball and pop music. But it wasn't North America that made him famous. It was Seoul, South Korea, where he auditioned for SM Entertainment, one of Asia's most powerful entertainment companies. In 2012, he debuted as a member of EXO, the K-pop group that would change his life forever. Within a year, Kris Wu became the group's breakout star. Fluent in Mandarin, English, and Korean, he became EXO's international bridge, the face fans from China and the West could connect to. He was tall, stylish, and confident, with an aura that blended Korean precision with Chinese pride. His popularity grew so fast that by 2014, he was already planning something unthinkable: leaving the group. When Kris announced his departure from EXO, fans were divided. Some saw him as a rebel who defied the system. Others called him a traitor. But in truth, Kris had already outgrown the idol structure. He wanted control over his image, his career, and his money. That decision would make him one of the most powerful celebrities in China's modern history. Back home, he reinvented himself as a solo artist. The timing couldn't have been better. China's entertainment industry was booming, hungry for idols who could rival Korea and Japan. Kris Wu was the perfect hybrid. Western-educated, K-pop trained, and fluent in both cultures. His debut single July topped charts overnight. By 2017, he was collaborating with Travis Scott and performing at NBA All-Star Weekend, becoming the first Chinese artist to truly break into the US market. But music was only the beginning. Kris turned himself into a brand. He modeled for Louis Vuitton, signed deals with Bulgari, Burberry, and L'Oreal, and starred in high-budget films like Journey to the West and XXX, Return of Xander Cage, alongside Vin Diesel. To Western media, he was China's first crossover superstar, young, polished, and rich beyond imagination. To China, he was something more, a symbol of national pride, proof that Chinese pop culture could stand shoulder to shoulder with the world. The numbers told the story. Between 2017 and 2020, Kris Wu earned more than $100 million, ranking among Forbes China's top 10 highest-paid celebrities. He owned multiple companies, from music labels to film studios, and every deal added another layer to his empire. His fan base, known as D.ME, didn't just follow him. They built his career. Millions of young women across Asia spent fortunes buying his albums, his merchandise, and even digital votes to keep him at the top of charts. But behind the camera flashes and private jets, something darker was forming. The system that made Kris Wu untouchable, the same fan-driven, capital-fueled machine that created modern Chinese idols was beginning to crack. His management team blurred the lines between business and worship. They didn't just market a performer. They sold a fantasy that Kris Wu was not just an idol, but perfection itself. For years, it worked. He lived like a king, surrounded by luxury, influence, and absolute control. But power built on image has one fatal flaw. It disappears the moment the illusion breaks. And soon, that illusion would shatter in the most spectacular way possible. By 2017, Kris Wu wasn't just a celebrity, he was an industry. Every concert, endorsement, and appearance ran through a complex web of companies tied to him. His main management firm, ACE Unit Culture, handled everything from sponsorships to media image, while other shell entities were set up to manage music rights, film royalties, and digital campaigns. His empire stretched across Hong Kong, mainland China, and Canada. Each deal was massive, and each one reinforced a myth that Kris Wu was not just an artist, but a corporation too big to fail. Luxury brands saw him as their golden key to China's billion-dollar youth market. Louis Vuitton, Bulgari, and Porsche made him the face of modern China, the perfect blend of East and West. His campaigns appeared on skyscrapers in Shanghai, on digital billboards in Los Angeles, and on every major Chinese social platform. He was the ultimate export product, one that Beijing quietly celebrated. To the Chinese government, Kris Wu was soft power in human form, proof that China could create its own global icons without Western validation. The money followed the fame. Between 2017 and 2020, Kris reportedly earned more than $100 million through brand endorsements, film deals, and concert tours. He had more than a dozen real estate properties, fleets of luxury cars, and personal stylists who followed him around the world. His fan base, estimated at over 50 million followers across platforms, operated like a small army. Fan clubs pooled money to buy out theaters on opening weekends, flood social media with hashtags, and purchase digital albums in bulk to inflate chart rankings. The Kris Wu economy became a template for China's next generation of idols. Behind every famous face was a pyramid of investors, PR teams, and data analysts who could manufacture popularity overnight. Social media trends were engineered. Online votes were purchased. Awards were sponsored. And in return, fans were promised proximity, exclusive meetups, personal live streams, and the illusion of intimacy. Inside that illusion, Kris Wu's image was carefully controlled. He was promoted as polite, respectful, and scandal-free. A gentleman idol in an industry often criticized for moral decay. But privately, his circle was surrounded by rumors. Reports began surfacing about private parties, personal casting sessions, and a lifestyle that blurred the line between celebrity privilege and excess. Those who worked close to him described a world insulated by money and loyalty, one where no one ever said no to him. Still, no one dared to dig deeper. The profits were too large, and the ecosystem that sustained him was too connected to fail. Streaming platforms, talent agencies, and luxury houses all had financial stakes in his name. Even state media had promoted him as the new face of Chinese youth. To question him was to question the system that built him. For years, Kris Wu existed in that untouchable gray zone between celebrity and national brand. But by 2021, China's leadership had grown wary of its celebrity class. The government launched a campaign called Qinglang, or Clear and Bright, designed to clean up what officials called the chaos of the entertainment industry. It targeted fan wars, online manipulation, and the worship of unregulated idols. The same machinery that had made Kris Wu invincible was now under investigation. As the pressure mounted, cracks began to show. Former employees left. Fan groups turned bitter, and then came the whispers. Allegations spreading across social media about how Kris used his fame to lure young women into his private world. At first, his team dismissed the claims as gossip, but the rumors wouldn't die. They spread faster than anyone could contain them. feeding on the resentment that had long been building under China's idol culture. Behind the scenes, his empire was already trembling. Sponsors were quietly reviewing contracts. Journalists were asking questions that used to be forbidden, and Beijing's regulators, once silent, were watching closely. For the first time in years, Kris Wu looked vulnerable. He had spent a decade mastering control of his image, his money, his fans. But now, all that control was slipping away. The same system that made him a god was preparing to make him an example. Because in China's entertainment empire, idols aren't just born, they're manufactured. And when they fall, it's never by accident. On July 30th, 2021, Beijing police released a single-line statement that changed everything. Wu Yifan has been detained for suspected rape. The message was short, cold, and official, and within minutes, it detonated across Chinese social media like a bomb. For years, Kris Wu had been one of the country's most famous men. Within 72 hours, he became its most hated. What followed wasn't a scandal, it was an erasure. The fall began quietly weeks earlier, when a young woman named Du Meiju posted a series of accusations online, claiming that Kris Wu had used his fame to target multiple women, some allegedly underage. At first, the public didn't believe her. His fan base went to war, flooding social media with defenses, legal threats, and hashtags proclaiming his innocence. His management dismissed the claims as blackmail. But when screenshots, private messages, and detailed testimonies surfaced, the tide turned. The girl's story was suddenly everywhere, and Beijing censors, who usually delete rumors about powerful figures, didn't intervene. That was the first sign something bigger was coming. Then came day one. Brand after brand began temporarily suspending cooperation with Kris Wu. Louis Vuitton, L'Oreal, Tencent Music, and Bulgari all cut ties within hours. His once flawless image, built over a decade, collapsed in real time. Day two, streaming services started deleting his songs. Film studios canceled upcoming releases. Even his name was erased from the credits of old projects. Weibo removed his verified account. Mentions of his name began triggering censorship filters. By day three, Beijing police announced his detention, confirming every rumor his team had tried to suppress. Just like that, Kris Wu's $100 million empire was gone. In less than 72 hours, his brand, his career, and his digital existence were deleted. Photos disappeared from official websites. Fan accounts shut down overnight. His music, once on every major Chinese streaming platform, became unsearchable. Years of celebrity visibility were reduced to nothing. A vacuum so complete that it looked deliberate. The speed of his downfall was unprecedented. No trial, no official explanation, just silence and deletion. It was as if an invisible switch had been flipped, turning a national icon into a ghost. Chinese social media exploded with memes, anger, and confusion. On Weibo, hashtags about his arrest hit 10 billion views before being replaced by state media commentary, framing the incident as a warning to other celebrities. The same government outlets that once praised his success were now condemning his moral collapse. Behind closed doors, luxury brands scrambled to recover from the PR disaster. Analysts estimated that Kris Wu's scandal caused hundreds of millions in losses across advertising, streaming, and film. His downfall triggered a chain reaction. Contracts frozen, sponsorships terminated, digital campaigns pulled overnight. He had been one of China's most valuable marketing faces. Now, he was a liability no one dared to mention. For fans, it was psychological whiplash. Many felt betrayed, others refused to believe the news, insisting it was a setup. Some even formed online groups vowing to wait for his return. But there was no return. Chinese authorities soon confirmed that multiple women had come forward, and the investigation had clear evidence. The once untouchable star was now a criminal suspect, and his silence spoke louder than any denial. What shocked observers wasn't just how fast he fell. It was how precise the takedown was. Every trace of Kris Wu was erased simultaneously. Media, music, endorsements, fan pages, search results. The coordination was absolute. Insiders later described it as a digital execution, a state-sanctioned deletion designed to send a message to the entire industry. In the end, the fall of Kris Wu was about more than personal scandal. It was a moment of reckoning, a test of how much control China's entertainment machine had over its idols, its internet, and its narratives. When the government decided that his story no longer served the national image, the curtain dropped, and in 3 days, one of the most powerful celebrities in Asia ceased to exist. After the headlines faded and the hashtags vanished, Kris Wu's world went silent. No public appearances, no statements, no music, just the echo of a career erased. He was transferred to Chaoyang Detention Center in Beijing, where he would remain for months without trial. State media confirmed his formal arrest, but the details of the case were kept vague. What came next was not just punishment. It was a recalibration of power. China's entertainment industry had never witnessed such a controlled implosion. For years, it had built idols like Kris Wu into billion-dollar assets, symbols of the country's cultural rise. But his scandal gave Beijing the perfect excuse to act. Days after his detention, the Cyberspace Administration of China launched a sweeping campaign to clean up fan culture. Authorities deleted over 4,000 fan accounts, banned fundraising by fan clubs, and introduced new restrictions on online celebrity worship. The message was clear. No one, not even the most famous face in China, would stand above the system. Inside the industry, the fear was immediate. Agencies began severing ties with anyone whose behavior could attract scrutiny. Artists rushed to prove their moral integrity. Variety shows canceled idol segments. Platforms like Weibo and Douyin introduced real name requirements for fan accounts. The era of reckless stardom, the kind Kris Wu had embodied, was over. In its place came a climate of surveillance and self-censorship, where every post, lyric, and photograph could be interpreted as political risk. At the same time, Beijing's propaganda machine reframed his downfall as a moral victory. State outlets ran op-eds declaring that artists must be clean to be celebrated, transforming Kris Wu's story from scandal to cautionary tale. He was no longer a person, he was a symbol, a warning to every performer, influencer, and billionaire who might forget who truly controls their fame. Yet beneath the official narrative, the damage ran deeper. His case shattered China's billion-dollar idol economy, a system built on fan spending, brand loyalty, and algorithmic obsession. Without stars like Kris Wu to anchor it, the market crashed. Companies that had once made fortunes on fan culture, from merch platforms to data farms, saw revenues collapse. The government had effectively dismantled its own entertainment goldmine in the name of moral order. Internationally, the scandal forced luxury brands and global corporations to confront an uncomfortable truth. China's celebrity power came with political risk. Western executives who once saw stars like Kris Wu as safe investments suddenly realized how fragile that fame was. One accusation, one political decision, and an entire empire could disappear overnight. By 2023, Kris Wu's trial quietly concluded with a 13-year prison sentence, followed by deportation. But even then, state media barely covered it. There were no images, no interviews, no closing statements, just a few sterile paragraphs confirming his fate. The silence was surgical, and in that silence lay the system's true power. Kris Wu's story was never just about a celebrity's downfall. It was about control. Who creates idols, who destroys them, and who gets to decide what they mean. The same machine that built him into a global icon dismantled him with equal precision. Fame in China, it turned out, wasn't a reward. It was a lease. And when the party decided the contract had expired, there was nothing left but silence. By 2025, the name Kris Wu no longer appeared on search engines, music charts, or film credits in China. It was as if he had never existed. His albums were deleted, his interviews wiped, and his image banned from television. Even in fan spaces, his initials were filtered out by automated censorship. Yet despite the silence, his shadow lingered, not as a celebrity, but as a turning point that changed the DNA of China's entertainment industry forever. Before his fall, the idol economy had been China's greatest soft power weapon, a billion-dollar ecosystem blending fame, fandom, and finance. Artists were groomed to project perfection, disciplined, patriotic, apolitical. But Kris Wu's scandal broke the illusion. It forced a national reckoning over what fame meant in a country where every celebrity is both a business and a political instrument. After his arrest, government policies tightened around the entire industry. Celebrities were required to complete morality training, contracts included ethics clauses, and publicists worked directly with censors before any release. For the next generation of idols, Kris Wu's ghost became the unspoken warning. Don't be seen as bigger than the system that built you. His fall also reshaped the psychology of fandom itself. Before 2021, Chinese fan groups operated like corporations, raising millions to boost digital rankings, buying thousands of products to prove loyalty. After Kris Wu, those same fans were treated as potential threats to national stability. The state dismantled fan clubs, froze donations, and banned ranking competitions. The once powerful community that helped make Kris Wu a household name was now under watch. What had begun as teenage devotion had become a controlled social experiment. Outside China, his story sparked global fascination, not only because of its scandal, but because of how efficiently the machine erased him. In the West, celebrities fall and rebuild. In China, they vanish. The difference wasn't just cultural, it was systemic. The same forces that once exported Kris Wu to Hollywood now used his downfall to prove a point: that Chinese fame would always belong to China first. Even from behind bars, his influence persisted in the new generation of entertainers who rose after him. Quieter, humbler, more cautious. None dared flaunt wealth or individuality the way Kris once did. Variety shows banned flirtatious behavior. Music videos avoided luxury symbolism. The industry had learned its lesson. Glamour could only exist under discipline. Yet beneath the fear and reform, a deeper truth remains. Kris Wu's empire collapsed because it was never built on art, but on image. Every brand, every hit song, every viral post existed to feed the illusion of control. When that illusion cracked, there was nothing left to protect him. His story became the perfect metaphor for modern fame. Limitless visibility, zero security. In the end, Kris Wu wasn't just the idol who made $100 million and lost it all. He was the cautionary symbol of a system that turns people into products and then deletes them when the balance shifts. His rise embodied the dream of global Chinese stardom. His fall revealed its price. And while the world moved on, his disappearance continues to whisper a quiet warning through China's entertainment halls. Fame is borrowed. Power is conditional. Silence is survival. He built an empire on fame, and in just 3 days, it was gone. Kris Wu's story isn't simply about a celebrity who fell from grace. It's about how fragile power really is inside a system that can create and destroy its icons at will. He was supposed to represent the future of Chinese entertainment, global, confident, and untouchable. Instead, his disappearance revealed something darker, that every empire built on image belongs to someone else. For years, he lived as proof that fame could make you limitless. But his silence became the proof of something far more powerful, that in China's entertainment world, no one is too famous to vanish. His downfall didn't just end a career, it reset an entire industry, rewriting the rules for every singer, actor, and influencer who came after him. The man who once ruled billboards now exists only in whispers. His songs erased, his name forbidden, his face a reminder of how fast perfection can turn into propaganda. And yet, behind that silence lies a truth too uncomfortable to forget. Kris Wu didn't just lose his fortune, he lost his identity to the machine that made him. This is Criminal Tracks, where we uncover the stories power tries to erase. Because in China's world of money, fame, and control, the most dangerous crime isn't what you do. It's believing you were ever free.